Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap. So today I have with me a very special guest, Pooja Ahuja, who has recently cleared SEBI Grade A 2020 in the legal stream. So I welcome Pooja Ahuja to our YouTube channel. Pooja is basically from Mumbai, right? And she has done her law from NMIMS School of Law. She has worked in law firm, but then she thought that it is not her cup of tea. She was looking for some other opportunities, and then SEBI came in, and then she cracked SEBI in legal stream. So Pooja, first of all, congratulations from the entire EduTab team. So how is the feeling now? And I suppose you have already joined SEBI in August, right? In August starting. So first of all, how is the feeling and how is the experience at SEBI? Is it satisfying? Is it worth it?
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here. And I definitely feel blessed that, this is the first competitive exam that I gave and I got in. And I just wanted to also put it out there that it's not because I am the only hardworking person, preparing for this exam, but it's also a lot of factors which come in. So I definitely feel blessed that, I applied for something, I worked hard for it, and that I got in. And experience at SEBI has been great so far. To be honest, we've just started, but every workplace has its own challenges. So it's not that just because it's a government job that you look at it from that perspective, because they are also not looking at you from that perspective. That they also want individuals who want to learn and who are ready to work hard to come there. And that's why this competitive exam is structured in such a way that it does require you to put in efforts, and they want the best of the best. So I definitely, like I said, circling back, I feel blessed that, that I got in.
Great. So Pooja, you mentioned that you feel blessed, and I think you also mentioned that it was not only the hard work. Many people did the hard work, but still you were able to clear the exam. So are you pointing towards some other factors such as luck, which you think are important for clearing exams of the stature of SEBI Grade A?
Correct. That is something that I was indicating, that it's not just like a one person's hard work, but there are a lot of considerations which come in. Like you mentioned that I was working at a law firm, and I was privileged enough that I could quit my job and figure out what I wanted to do and prepare for this exam, and my family was supportive. Whereas for certain other individuals, it may not be the case. They may need to pay rent, they would have dependent parents, spouses, siblings, etc., whatever circumstances. So there is definitely a luck factor, involved, and that is there in all competitive examinations. It comes in. It's not that other people are not as smart or as hardworking as you. I definitely know some, hardworking people who did not get in. It doesn't mean that I am better than them or anything. It really doesn't mean that. So yeah, luck is something that needs to be factored in, and you also need to factor that in while you're preparing for the exam. Like mentally, you need to know that despite my best efforts and me giving everything that I put to this exam, there may be a situation where I may not crack it, and I just have to take it and move it forward. This is not it for you. If you're a hardworking individual, if not this, you will crack something else. If not this, some other job. If not this, some other opportunity. So this needs to be taken into account mentally while you're preparing for this exam or any
Exactly.
competitive exam.
Exactly. Very good point, Pooja. Again, coming back to our original topic, I mean, strategy for SEBI and all. But before that, how did SEBI happen? I mean, normally lawyers are happy working in private organizations. For you, it was not your cup of tea. But still, how did you come to know about SEBI? Because it's not a very regular recruitment. I mean, it only started in 2018 with Legal Stream and all. Now it is becoming regular. But in 2020, how did you come to know about SEBI?
So basically, I was browsing for other opportunities. I wasn't really happy with, the kind of work that I was doing. And a lot of people are obviously, working in law firms, it's a whole another deal altogether, and you learn a lot. And I'm very thankful for that 1 year that I spent, because I feel like it's such, it's such a period for like condensed learning. And it gives you great work ethic and discipline. So that is unparalleled. And so I'm really grateful for that 1 year. But I realized that, okay, this is something not that I'm interested in, and let me just look out for something else. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, I'll go back because anyway, like I just wanted to explore what else is out there, and I could, like, I had the liberty to that I could. I obviously discussed it with my family. I discussed it with my close friends that I have been feeling this way, and it's not working out for me. And fortunately they were supportive, so I stumbled upon this opportunity and I thought, let's give it a shot. This, like I said, this was my first competitive exam. I don't know what it takes. I honestly did not know how much preparation that it would entail, because I certainly did not think that it would require so much, but it really did. So yeah, I was just browsing for notifications and I came across, and I thought, let's just give this a shot and see where it takes me.
So was it a purely self-preparation or primarily was it self-preparation from your side?
Correct. Primarily self-preparation, except at the third stage where I took help from mock interviews.
Mock interviews. So in any challenging area you would like to highlight? Because obviously when people from legal stream are giving exam for SEBI grade A legal stream, you would have studied most of the things in your graduation or in your post graduation. So I think study material wise, it is not much of a challenge. But still, any challenging area that you would like to highlight that this needs to be managed properly by the future aspirants?
So one thing that I would like to highlight is that one really great thing about this time's notification was that they had declared in the notification itself that the cutoff is going to be 30%. So the paper one of prelims is a general paper. It contains reasoning, quant, English, and current affairs. So I knew that I did not have to put in much efforts there, because my main, the merit list would be made basis my phase 2 and my interview. So I knew that I just had to pass through prelims. So this is something that every individual who's preparing for a competitive exam needs to assess, that can I, in the amount of time that I have, clear the prelims comfortably. And for lawyers especially, I feel that I mean, I don't know, I may be generalizing, but I feel that reasoning and quant comes a bit difficult to us compared to like other people, like from general, like CAs, engineers. For them, reasoning and quant is their strength, but I felt that okay, I would need to work on this a lot. So this is something that you need to navigate, like in maybe if in the next notification, that if they have not declared the cutoffs, and then it depends on how like every individual has scored, then like you need to be really good. Right here, I knew how much I need to put in, because I had to get just 30%, and I obviously had my law paper as well, so I took support and strength from that. So yeah, in terms of paper one, I think reasoning and quant, if they've not pre-declared the cutoffs, it's a challenge. It is a challenge for legal people. But apart from that, I think it can be managed, because for 5 years you studied these subjects. So like you would have about like 80% of the syllabus you would have read somewhere in law school, while working, anywhere. So like it'll be covered. So paper one is something that can become tricky if like I said, if in the next notification they think that they should not declare the cutoff.
Okay, so basically, I got your point that already clarifying that 30% is the cutoff seems to soothe the nerves of many, that okay, this is the target marks, and even if I am not that good, I can still manage that. Now, coming to the next question, in the notification, they have mentioned topic-wise weightage that would be there in phase 1 and phase 2. So my first question is, does that help to prioritize your preparation? My second question is that weightage really is the exam on the same lines as per the weightage given in the notification, or it is not adhered to in the exam?
So with respect to the first question, I feel like the weightage is definitely helpful for you to gain a perspective as to what they're exactly looking at. So if you would check this time's notification, the syllabus for legal stream, they want you to focus on securities law, because obviously like they need you to know those 3 laws really well in and out, because that's the laws that you're going to be dealing with, right? So securities law has good weightage, Companies Act, IBC has good weightage, and I mean Companies Act otherwise also I feel that in law it has assumed that importance, that significance, that you need to know a lot of provisions, that you need to know and understand regardless of what you're practicing. You sort of need to have some understanding of Companies Act, IBC. So I think more or less weightages are indicative, not indicative actually, they do give you direction that this is what, and how this is the attention that you should give to a particular subject. And as to the second question, whether they are adhered to or not, I felt that they are mostly adhered to. I did not do that exercise after exams where I particularly saw if certain questions were corresponding to 20%, like if there were 5 or 6 questions it comes to that. So I did not do that exercise, but I mostly felt that it was in that ratio. It adhered to what they had said in the notification.
Great. And according to you, what is the time frame that one needs to prepare for such exam? Though there cannot be a single time frame for everyone. Maybe what is the time frame you think, as per your preparation, is sufficient for one to prepare for the exam?
So it depends on a lot of factors. Like you said, I know people who have, they have been working in law firms and they have cleared this exam. I took a good long break for appearing for this exam. So there are a lot of factors that go into consideration, like in terms of how much time you would need. I feel like personally 6 months is good. If you are comfortable with your law subjects, reasoning and quant, you would need some time to get a hold of it. So I think 6 months should be good, but again, like one needs to assess basis their background. I had a background where I had specialized in business laws in my final year, and I have also cleared certain levels of the company secretary examination, so I had some background from that. So 6 months I think should be okay.
Six months is the time frame as per you. And what about the questions? Are the questions that are asked in the exam really conceptual or case study based, or they are simple factual questions which can be done easily if you have thoroughly studied the syllabus?
It's a mix of conceptual and factual, and even when it comes to factual, I think they are simple factual questions that you don't like you said, there are certain things which you need to know at the tip of your tongue, and these are things that you would have already studied and paid enough attention to in law school. So something like what is Article 21, they would not ask something so simple, but like every law student or a lawyer knows what Article 21 is, or what are the 6-7 different freedoms that you have under Article 19. Right, so there are certain things which you need to know, and that is not like, how do I say it, it's not something that they it's difficult articulating, but basically that they are testing how much in law school also that you have studied. I feel that honestly that it is also about how much knowledge that you have gained over the course of time, because if not in phase 2, if your concepts are not clear, then it is going to come out in the interview. So like your concepts do need to be cleared, and they're not asking for something very complex. I felt also that, for example, Constitution or Contracts Act, this is something very basic and something that every lawyer should know. Like it is it is your Bible. You cannot you cannot not know things from it. So I felt like it was a mix of conceptual and factual questions, but factual questions also to the extent that you would be knowing those things. They will try to confuse you in the options because it's a MCQ paper, and they will try to confuse you, but this is where your attention to detail is tested, and how much you have read about something.
Great. And there is a lot of overlap of syllabus between phase 1 and phase 2, though there are some different parts also. Like for example, in companies, like some different chapters are there in phase 1, and if some different chapters are there in phase 2. But overall, how do you see one should go for a preparation? Should it be integrated preparation? Say if I have read chapter 1 of company law company law, which is in phase 1, but chapter 2 is in phase 2, but I should go through chapter 2 right now because it helps me make me sequence in my studies. What is your view on that? Should it be an integrated preparation or should it be a phase 1, phase 2 focused preparation?
So given my background, I felt that an integrated approach would be better. Again, I would want to caveat this by saying that I was really comfortable with the fact that they'd already told me the cutoff. So I felt that, okay, this is something that, like prelims, if you're not sure that you're going to clear prelims or not, then then you need to focus on prelims. Like it's just common sense that if you're not comfortable with the fact that, okay, you are still at the edge, when you're giving mocks and when you're assessing yourself, then definitely start focusing more on your prelim syllabus. And also, like, especially 1 or 2 weeks before your prelims, I think you need to sort of focus more on what's coming for the prelims. Though I followed an integrated approach. I did like one subject like that. And I did everything in one flow.
That's great. And now coming to your interview part, Pooja. So, what do you think are the areas one need to prepare for an interview?
So it was very different. I think for everyone, because it's mostly profile based. So they are not expecting you to know like everything. They will ask you things from your profile, and it's also, like I said, it's also very dependent on how you answer questions. Like what you tell them, they will take out words from that and question you more. So you have to be careful in terms of what you're answering. Like if you don't want to open a Pandora's box, then you should refine yourself, filter yourself, and then answer a certain thing. And also I think it's something that I think everyone knows, but I just also want to put it out there that that they know when you're trying to fool around, or when you're trying to beat around the bush, because they've done this dance a lot of times. So they know when someone doesn't know something and they're trying to cover it up. So I think in such situations it's better to plead ignorance, because it also it reflects on your personality, that just accepted that you don't know, and that you will read up on it, because obviously no one is a repository of knowledge. So I think in terms of interview, what is important is that you're aware of current events, what's happening. You're aware what's happening with SEBI, because SEBI, like if you just Google SEBI, every day you will come across things that they are doing. You are aware of certain controversial circulars, or not just circulars in general. You're aware, like right now in March, there was the 81 bond circular, which was really being talked about, and there was back and forth between SEBI and the finance ministry. So circulars, discussion papers, like you need to go through the website of SEBI and see everything, what they're up to, because that's the first step, right? If you're applying for a job and you've made it so far, then they expect that you would know that what they're up to. So 80% profile based. Second, you should know what is happening, around in the world, in India, in financial market especially. And third, SEBI, definitely what they're up to. And this is obviously given, like I said, first is your profile. Like you should know, you should be in and out with your profile.
Pooja, my next question is that how was your interview? I mean, what kind of questions did they ask you in the interview?
So my interview was mostly profile based. There were certain questions, like certain conceptual questions asked, and that's why I mentioned before that conceptual understanding is really important. Even though the paper is a mix, the phase 2 paper is a mix of concepts and factual, you need to focus on the conceptual side of things because it's going to come out in the interview. So I am personally not that great at interviews. So I was very scared before, and I was also very scared after. I did not think it went well, because I had given some other interviews in the past and I felt like I could have performed better. But just all that pressure of, that you've been preparing for this exam for so long, I think it just mounted and it overtook. How do I say? Like you need to be prompt in your response and you need to have that presence of mind. And I felt like that I was not my 100% during that interview. So fortunately, I lucked out that they thought that maybe, however my interview was, that I had the potential or I was a person that they're looking out for. But interview again, I feel that it's very subjective to your profile, and it should not be tough if you're aware of the things that I said: profile, what is happening in financial markets, and SEBI.
So thank you, Pooja, for sharing such insights from your journey for SEBI Grade A 2020 exam. Any message that you want to give before signing off?
I just want to say that it's at the end of the day, it's a job. It's a prestigious job, and it may be like a job that you really, really want and you've been preparing for. But it's important to know that if not this, then you will crack something else, or you will get another opportunity if you're someone who works hard. And in retrospective, I should have been a bit more easy on myself, I feel. And I feel like it's really important that you have that perspective, that this is not your only fame to glory or something of that sort, that you will have some job, like you can apply for this again, that it will work out. Like it's fine if it's not working out now. And just that you're aware of a lot of things, like like I said, luck being one such factor, that you're aware of it and you're mentally prepared. I think competitive exams, more so than your knowledge, or there is that mental factor that you need to be mentally strong, right? Because you're preparing for like months and months on end, and this is like your only goal, and you do not see it being fruitful. That's very heartbreaking, and I am saying obviously all of this now, but I know that I would be very heartbroken if I wouldn't have gotten in, because this is something that I aspired to do, right? So yeah, like mental preparation is something that I feel a lot of people need to focus more on. Like everyone talks about strategy, everyone talks about what to study, what not to do, sources, everything else, but I feel like this mental aspect of it is not really spoken about that much. So yeah, I would say that focus on that as well. Take care of yourself while you're preparing for this exam. That's very important, because if it's not you, then there is no exam. Like you need to take care of yourself. So that's foremost, and that's more important than anything in the world.
Thank you, Pooja. That was, I
Thank
think,
you.
the most pleasant message I could hear from somebody at the end of the interview. That's really nice of you. So thank you once again for taking
Thank
out
you so
time
much.
and sharing your strategy, sharing your thoughts with us. I
Thank
wish you
you.
best of luck for your future
Thank
career,
you.
Sebi.
Thank
Have
you
a
so
nice
much.
day. Bye bye.
Thank you. You too. Bye. Bye. Thank you.